Good morning, students. This is Chapter 10 Habitat and Adaptation, Part 2 Abiotic Components. Let's see what are abiotic components. Abiotic components means non-living components in a habitat, in a surrounding, in an environment. Some examples of abiotic components are light, water, soil, temperature, sunlight. All things are your abiotic components. First of all, light. Light is the ultimate source of energy on the earth. If there is no sunlight, there is no life on earth. Green plants use this sunlight to prepare their food through the process of photosynthesis. And the factors of light or sunlight, like its exposure, intensity, duration, play a vital role in our environment. So if there is no sunlight, there is no photosynthesis, plants cannot make their own food, and that food is consumed by plants, animals, and human beings also. So all will be die if there is no sunlight. For example, some plants require less exposure of light, like a snake plant, mother-in-law's tongue plant. It is also called mother-in-law tongue's plant. And cook pine, Christmas tree. They need less light. Whereas some plants require more light, more exposure of light, like maize, cotton plants, wheat, rice, all just cereals, they need more light. So light is very important for our environment, for our life, for the living organism. Temperature. Light and temperature are linked with each other, because when sunlight comes, temperature rises. When sun goes, temperature decreases. So they are interlinked. Temperature is the measure of expressing how hot or cold is matter is. What is temperature? We cannot see temperature. Only we can touch, then we find it is hot or cold. So temperature is a measurement of expressing how hot or cold the matter is. Temperature influences the distribution of plants and animals on the earth. If the temperature is very low, we say climate is very cold. If the temperature is very high, we say climate is very hot, as in Rajasthan. Cold climate at polar region. The temperature near the equator is very hot, whereas it is very cold or low temperature near the poles of the earth. At both the poles, North Pole and South Pole, their temperature is very cold because there is less sunlight falls on it, and at equator it is nearer to sunlight, so it takes more and maximum temperature, maximum sunlight. So equator is very hot and both the poles are very cold. Some examples are the blooming of flower either in the day or night is due to the temperature difference between the day and night. Blooming of flower depends on the, we just understand this blooms in the morning and this blooms in the night, but actually they bloom with the difference between the temperature. Animals whose body temperature changes with the external temperature is called cold-blooded animals. The animals whose body change with the temperature, outermost temperature, बाहर के temperature के according they change their temperature, they are called cold-blooded animals. And those animals who cannot change or who don't change their body temperature with the क्लाइमेटिक टेम्परेचर, जैसे बाहर का टेम्परेचर है तो दे डोंट चेंज, दे आर कॉल्ड वार्म ब्लडेड एनिमल्स. ह्यूमन बींग्स आर वार्म ब्लडेड. ऐसा तो नहीं है ना कि हम पोल्स पे जाएंगे तो हमारा बॉडी भी बहुत कोल्ड हो जाएगा, नहीं. आवर बॉडी टेम्परेचर इज द सेम एज in equator as in poles. So cold blooded animal means they change with the outer temperature, external temperature. Example, reptiles and insects. Wild animals whose body temperature do not affect with the external temperature is called warm blooded. Example, birds and mammals. We are in mammals, human beings. Seasonal migration is seen in some animals and birds due to temperature difference. When season in Siberia, in Russia, when temperature falls down and it goes in minus, below 0 degree, then all maximum or many of the birds fly to India, because at that time India is December, January, February, India is cold for ourselves, but they fly here because they need, for them it is a very good climate. So seasonal migration means to fly, to escape from the cold. वहाँ बहुत ठंड से वो भाग के इधर आते हैं. This is called migration. Next, abiotic component is air. Air around us is a mixture of many atmospheric gases like oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, other than many gases, methane, ethane, all gas, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, many gases. For example, all organisms require oxygen for respiration and carbon dioxide is used in green plants for photosynthesis. So oxygen and carbon dioxide is the most needed gas for living beings. For the process of photosynthesis in plant, atmospheric nitrogen is also fixed by nitrogen fixing bacteria. And these nitrogen in the form of nitrate, they are absorbed by root with water. Through the roots, they come into the body of the plant, and then plants make protein also. Also, moving air help in pollination and dispersal of seed, which is very important for plants, for the reproduction of plants. It is also for reproduction, it is very important. Third is water. Water is essential for the biotic component of ecosystem. You know, water we all need, all living beings need water. We drink water, plants take water from the soil, and then it combines with carbon dioxide and makes photosynthesis and makes food, glucose, carbohydrates, starch, protein, which we eat and survive. So water is very important. Habitat of plant and animals vary widely from aquatic environment to dry desert. If there is much of water, we call this climate is aquatic. And if there is a very less water, we call it desert. So also habitat of plants and animals vary widely from aquatic environment to dry desert. They are directly dependent on water for their survival. Water dissolves essential gas like oxygen and carbon dioxide also, which help aquatic plant and animals for their survival. Because dissolved oxygen is taken by plants and animals in the water for respiration, and carbon dioxide plants take inside the water and makes photosynthesis, makes their own food. Our human body also consists of 60% of water. Okay. Next is soil. Soil is the material found on the uppermost layer of the earth. What is soil? Soil is the material uppermost layer of the earth. It is a mixture of organic matter, minerals, gases, liquids, and organisms that together support life. Soil has mainly 4 sublayers. This you will in details you will learn in class 7. They are topsoil, subsoil, parent material, and bedrock. Uppermost is called topsoil. Beneath the topsoil, uske niche subsoil, then parent, and then lastly made up of rocks, and they are called bedrocks. Plant grow on the topsoil, which have humus. Humus means dead, decomposed plant and animals. The bacteria, virus present in the soil, and dead body parts of the animals, plants, dead leaves, all are in a combined way called humus. Living organism like earthworm, snail make the soil loose, which help the plant roots to grow deeper into the soil. When soil is loose, then plants grow. If soil is very hard, plants don't grow in the hard soil. Okay. So that's all for today. Read this and try to understand. If any problem, ask me in the class.